Your life as every level of cybercriminal. What if I told you that right now, someone could drain your bank account without ever touching your wallet? Someone could steal your identity without ever meeting you. Someone could hold your entire life hostage with just a few keystrokes. And the scariest part? They might be sitting in a bedroom just like yours. Welcome to the world of cybercriminals, where the barrier to entry is nearly zero, but the consequences are absolutely devastating. Today, we're breaking down your life as every level of hacker, from script kiddies to international cyber terrorists. And trust me, level 5 is going to blow your mind. Let's start at the absolute bottom. Level 1, the script kiddie. You're 16 years old, maybe 17. You've got decent grades, you get along with your parents, and you're completely bored. Then one day, you stumble onto this forum. It's underground, sure, but it's not hard to find. And there it is, a pre-written script. Someone else already did all the hard work. They built the tool, they tested it, and now they're giving it away for free. All you have to do is download it, follow the instructions, and boom, you've got access to someone's email, their social media, their photos. The rush is incredible. It's like finding a cheat code to real life. You're not technically smart. You don't understand how the script actually works. You just know that you pressed a button and something happened on someone else's computer. You pull off maybe 3 or 4 hacks before you get bored or too scared. You never steal anything major. You never hurt anyone that matters to you, but you've crossed a line, and you're never really the same after that. Level 2, the hobbyist. Now you're actually learning. You've moved beyond script kiddies. You spent 2 weeks watching YouTube tutorials. You understand basic networking. You know what an IP address is. You know what SQL injection means. You're not a genius, but you're dangerous now. Maybe you've discovered that a local business has terrible security. Their website is literally built like a house of cards. You spend an evening finding vulnerabilities. You don't exploit them, not really. You just prove that you could. You send them an anonymous email. Your site is vulnerable. Here's how I got in. Sometimes they thank you. Sometimes they ignore you. Sometimes they actually fix it. You're not doing this for money. You're doing it for the intellectual satisfaction. For the proof that you're smarter than these people who are supposed to be professionals. You might get a few $100s in bug bounties. That's actual money from actual companies for finding their security flaws. It feels legitimate. It feels like real work, but deep down, you know you're one bad decision away from federal charges. And that knowledge, that's both terrifying and intoxicating. Level 3, the organized criminal. This is where it stops being a hobby. You've made connections, real connections, people in your Telegram group, people who vouched for you, people who trusted you enough to bring you into their operation. You're not independently trying to break into random systems anymore. You're part of a team. There's a division of labor. Someone scouts targets, someone writes the malware, someone handles communications, someone monetizes the data. You're the one who gets paid to maintain their servers, the ones they use to store stolen credit card numbers. Millions of them. You make 5 grand a week, maybe 10. Cash in cryptocurrency, untraceable. Your parents think you work in tech, which technically you do. They have no idea. You've rented an apartment under a fake name. You've got multiple phones, multiple identities. You're wearing a Guy Fawkes mask in your profile picture, and everyone in your circle thinks that's hilarious. But you're not laughing anymore. You've seen what happens when someone betrays the group. You've seen screenshots of their location, their real name, their families' names. You've never met these people in person, but you know exactly how serious they are. The money is incredible, but the paranoia is worse. You use a VPN on top of a VPN. You wear gloves when you type. You're not sure if that actually does anything, but it makes you feel safer. You tell yourself you're just one big score away from retiring. That's what everyone says, but nobody ever does. Level 4, the specialist. You've been doing this for 5 years, maybe 10. You're not famous, you don't want to be, but if you walked into the right conference, people would recognize your work, your name, your alias. Everyone knows who you are. You've targeted major corporations, banks, government agencies. We're talking about breaches that made the news, millions of records, billions of dollars in damages. You're not just stealing data anymore. You're conducting ransomware attacks. You break into a hospital's network, encrypt all their files, and then demand payment or you'll release patient data. These aren't theoretical scenarios. You've actually done this, and yes, people have died. Not because you wanted them to, but because systems went down and surgeries were cancelled and medication records were inaccessible. You try not to think about that part. You focus on the money. You've made enough to retire 10 times over. You've got accounts in countries that don't extradite to the US. You've got property overseas under shell corporations. You've got access to forged documents, real ones, the kind that governments make. You're not running from the law because you've gone international. The law can't touch you, and that knowledge is freedom, but it's also a prison. You can't go home. You haven't seen your family in 3 years. You can't use your real name. You can't trust anyone. Every message could be a trap. Every new contact could be federal agents. You sleep with your laptop under your pillow and your phone set to auto wipe if someone inputs the wrong password 3 times. Level 5, the nation-state operative. Now we're talking about something entirely different. You don't work for yourself. You work for a government. Russia, China, North Korea, Iran. It doesn't matter which one. What matters is that you've got resources, unlimited resources. Your team numbers in the hundreds. You've got dedicated buildings. You've got physicists and mathematicians and people who make 6 figures a year doing what they love, breaking things. You've got access to zero-day exploits, vulnerabilities that haven't been discovered yet, vulnerabilities that are worth millions on the black market. But you don't sell them, you use them, and you use them to accomplish things that will reshape world history. You orchestrate election interference, you deploy malware that cripples power grids, you steal nuclear secrets, you gather intelligence on world leaders, you crash entire economies. The scope is incomprehensible. You're not a criminal in any traditional sense. You're a weapon. You're a military asset, and your target isn't money, it's geopolitical dominance. Your salary is good, but it's not why you do it. You do it because you were recruited by your government, because refusing wasn't really an option, because the work is meaningful in a way that private crime could never be. You're protecting your country, or so they tell you. The other side tells you something different. They tell you that you're committing acts of war, that you're responsible for deaths, infrastructure failures, destabilization of entire regions, and maybe both things are true. That's the thing they don't tell you when you sign up. But here's what most people don't realize. Almost every hack starts the same way, with curiosity, with someone who wanted to understand how something worked, with someone who was bored, with someone who thought they were smarter than the system. And maybe they were. But intelligence without ethics is just destruction with extra steps. The reality is that cybercrime costs the global economy over $6 trillion every year. That's more than the GDP of every country except the United States, China, and Japan. And every single dollar comes from someone. Someone's medical debt, someone's life savings, someone's business that they built from nothing. The people at level 1 think they're anonymous. They think there's no way they can be caught, but the FBI's cyber division is specifically designed to find you. They don't care how good you think you are. They'll find you, and they'll find you fast, and then you'll be sitting in a federal prison doing 20 years for something you thought was just a game. The people at level 5, they might never be caught, but that's not freedom. That's a different kind of prison, one where you can never leave your country, where you're always looking over your shoulder, where the moment you become a liability, you disappear. So if you're sitting there right now thinking about downloading that script, thinking about exploring that forum, thinking about crossing that line, don't. There are legitimate ways to use your skills. Bug bounty programs, cybersecurity jobs, ethical hacking certifications. These are careers that pay just as well and don't come with federal charges attached. The barrier to entry in cybercrime is low, but the barrier to exit, that's locked forever. And once you walk through that door, you're never coming back. Which level would you be? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown of the cybercrime world, smash that subscribe button for more deep dives into the lives of people living on society's edge.